Hi, today from the beautiful Black Forest. I will tell you today about my story with Bitcoin, about Bitcoin history, and I want to tell you I am celebrating birthday today. Please stay with me till the end of this video because at the end we'll have a competition and something to win. Before you start congratulating me for my birthday, now I'm not celebrating my birthday. I am actually celebrating 9th birthday of Bitcoin. Yes, the original white paper defining what the Bitcoin system is gonna be about was published on October 31st, 2008. A person or a group of people with the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto described in this white paper a solution to a cryptographic problem that I was aware of because I was actually studying cryptography. One of my main interests during my studies was cryptography back in the 90s. But the cryptography at that time wasn't that developed. And the main problem of cryptocurrencies, or in order to construct a cryptocurrency, was actually the so-called double spend problem. What is it about? Digitally, you can copy everything, and there is no difference between the original and the copy. So if I have a digital money and I give it to you, in that moment, you and me have the same copy of that. So how are you going to keep me from spending the money I have given you, right? So that you have the money and I don't have the money. And how are you going to keep people from multiplying it without really having that money in that amount? So this is called the double spend problem. And Satoshi Nakamoto put together several known technologies and principles and solved that problem with Bitcoin. And the solution to that problem is called blockchain. This is generally a ledger of transaction entries distributed throughout the world and some algorithms enforcing integrity of that ledger. So this happened on 31st October of 2008, exactly 9 years ago. So today we are celebrating the 9th birthday of Bitcoin. And this is a great opportunity to tell you my history with Bitcoin and generally the Bitcoin history. So with the publication of the white paper, the system itself, the Bitcoin blockchain, didn't exist, right? But Satoshi Nakamoto made himself work on the implementation of the system, and on 3rd of January 2009, the first block in the blockchain, the so-called Genesis block, was mined. Creation of blocks in Bitcoin is called mining. Bitcoin was imagined to become a currency at some time, but it wasn't a currency simply to the fact that it didn't have value. It wasn't transacted at all. And the first transactions appeared at the end of 2009. These were very simple transactions. People were changing Bitcoin for other currencies like dollar, maybe like yen, Japanese yen, but generally you weren't able to buy anything for Bitcoin. And on 5th of October 2009, first exchange rate was published. $1 was equivalent to 1,309 Bitcoin. It meant that one Bitcoin costed less than 1,000th of dollar. And then the famous transaction, the first purchase transaction, took place on 22nd May of 2010. A programmer from an Australian developer, an Australian programmer, Laszlo Haynecz, offered to pay somebody 10,000 bitcoins to buy him 2 pizzas. At that time, one bitcoin costed 4,000 of a dollar, so it was quadrupled since October last year. And a British programmer using a credit card ordered a pizza for him with a home delivery. So it was the first transaction, first purchase transaction for Bitcoin. This was actually a proof that Bitcoin can be used to purchase something. And from that point on, the development of Bitcoin, the acceptance and usage of Bitcoin started to skyrocket, to grow in fast pace. On February 9th, 2011, Bitcoin first surpassed the value of $1. And then we had the first bubble on June 9th, 2011, where Bitcoin reached over $29 in value. Then it fell down to $2 in November 2011 in order to reach on April 10th, 2013, the value of whopping $181, which was considered the second Bitcoin bubble. Then it fell again a little bit, and on November 29th, 2013, it surpassed $1,000 in order to reach $1,132, which was considered Bitcoin craze, and it was the third Bitcoin bubble. Then it fell down, and I want to tell you that in that time, in 2013, let's say the second half of 2013, that was the time when I realized the value of Bitcoin, and I wanted actually and was about to purchase my first Bitcoins. But then the value of Bitcoin exploded, and I realized this is a bubble. And I just skipped that bubble, and it was good because I waited till 2015. Between June and August 2015, Bitcoin reached the lower point in value between $220 and $250. And that was actually the time I was waiting for almost 2 years for Bitcoin to reach that point in order to be able to purchase it in a low point. And I did it, purchasing Bitcoin around $220, $250 a piece at the very low point of the cycle. And it was time where everybody was declaring Bitcoin for dead, because in 2013 it reached over $1,000, and Mt. Gox, the largest Bitcoin exchange, was hacked, and everybody was predicting the end of Bitcoin, the end of cryptocurrencies. That will never work. Many people lost their money with Bitcoin, and so on and so on. I was being convinced by everybody around me that this is not a good investment. It was falling for the last 2 years and so on. But remember, I studied cryptography myself, so I understood the technology, and I also saw the usage and the acceptance rate growing. So the technology was actually developing, and more and more merchants accepted Bitcoin, more and more people were using Bitcoin, and there were the number of transactions was growing and so on. So I knew earlier or later there would be a breakthrough. So I bought Bitcoin at that very low point in 2015, and lo and behold, in 2016, 1 year later, a year ago, on October 31st, 2016, Bitcoin reached $700. And I tripled my investment, so I sold a little bit of Bitcoin. But then Bitcoin started to grow further in December of 2016 to $900 and over $900 and $1,000. So I started to buy again, and I bought even more Bitcoin that I sold before. And you know how Bitcoin grew in the last year. And today, the value of Bitcoin reached over $6,300. Yes, over $6,000 $300. So it is like 9 times as much as it was worth a year ago. And now I want to encourage you to guess what will be the price of Bitcoin in a year on 31st October of 2018. We'll do a little bit of competition. Please write your guesses in the comments. What will be the price of Bitcoin in 2018? And the person who will be the closest, I will reward with a book I have co-authored with the best business teacher and the best personal performance coach in the world. That will be published soon. Make your guesses till the end of November, and then we'll next year we'll resolve this competition. And I want to remind you of the running competition for who is the person I co-authored the book with. This is in the other video, in the previous video. I will link it here. Leave your comments there and guess who is my co-author, and we will resolve that other competition on Thursday already. And the winner, among the winners, I will give away 1 copy of the book with my personal autograph, with my personal signature. If you found that story interesting, share it with your friends, with your loved ones. Use the sharing links below that video. Don't forget to subscribe to this video in order not to miss the next videos about. I will be talking about Bitcoin. I will be talking about billionaire thinking, and of course I will resolve the competitions you are participating in. So subscribe to the video, and if you are interested in what I have to talk, I have a lot of videos on the topic of success thinking, of how billionaires, how the most successful people in the world think. So you can see these videos here. That's it. Thank you, and see you from the beautiful Black Forest.